Imagine 22 JB74 Suzuki Jimnys tackling the most grueling and remote tracks in Australia. This is going to be the ultimate test for these little rigs. This is the Wildtrak Australia Gunbarrel Highway Series. With the sun rising on the morning of day 7 of our Gunbarrel Highway adventure, the team are whipping up a quick bite to eat before packing up camp. The plan today is to leave Camp Bedell and head east on the Gunbarrel Highway all the way through to the Heather Highway, and this is going to take us through to the Great Central Road and then on to Warburton. Now the plan was to make camp somewhere between Warburton and Uluru, but we've run into some strife. It wasn't long after heading off that one of the support vehicles started showing some signs of stress. This section of the old Gunbarrel is unmaintained and wild. It's rough as guts out here and it's taking its toll on the larger rigs.
So as you can see, the tongue on the trucks started to take a bit of a beating and yeah, starting to have a little bit of a give way. Hopefully it'll hold until we get to Warburton, but basically the Gunbarrel's taking another victim and just putting it through absolute hell. With everything you've got to take, I guess it just beats it quite severely, so definitely have to be well prepared. Thank God there's a few guys on here that are pretty clever with all of this stuff.
With the convoy slowing down a little, it gave the team a chance to take in the scenery. It's easy to forget that time doesn't really matter out here, and the main thing is that we're making progress towards our destination. Now, testament to how rough this track is, the hitch on the F-truck has finally speared in, bending solid steel. This is the only thing that we didn't want to have happen, and it's all gone wrong. Mainly because this is the trailer with the extra beers in it. We're still out in the middle of absolute nowhere. How will we get out of this one?
Oh, they've had a major, and there's no way to fix it without getting parts, so trailer's gonna spend the afternoon/evening here till they can fix it. Might be a few days, depending on how it all goes. Just unloading some shit and away we go. Fingers crossed.
Okay. Well, I've organised the plane, so they're getting the parts now. They're either onto it, and they're going to go to Warburton and send it to the plane.
So we just got
I love it.
Yeah.
I'll get it. Yeah.
So
they'll get a charter
it's
plane.
a night. They can land at night in Warburton, so it's got light. Yeah. So what's happening now is the boys have got in touch with some people back in Perth. We're going to charter a plane up to Warburton with some parts, and in the meantime, we're going to take the other service trailer into Warburton and set up the campsite so that we keep on with the journey. So we've got a nice, neat plan which we're going to execute now and keep rolling. Just trying to get in touch with Paul back at the trailer to give him an update and find out what time this plane's going to arrive. We're about 90 k's out of Warburton, still pretty hard going on the Heather Highway here, so taking a bit of time to get the Effie and Nigel's Effie out, and we've blown a couple of tyres in the last hour, so we're just taking it easy to get everyone out nice and safe. We'll get into Warburton and fuel up and get some parts and head back out again.
It's been almost 500 kilometres of punishing off-road driving since we left Carnegie Station. The day's getting long and it's time to push on to the next campsite, roughly 50 kilometres northeast of the town. It's been a massive day and it's not over yet. With Dave getting a hold of the part in Perth, now it was time to play the waiting game for the charter flight, due to arrive sometime around midnight. Now, a lot of you might be wondering how much it costs to airbag a hitch out to Warburton. Well, I'm glad I'm not footing the bill for this one, but hey, what do you do?
Let's make sure we got the right stuff. And then from here, we've got a 300 kilometre round trip to go pick this trailer up. That's going to take us about 5 or 6 hours tonight out there, and we'll have a bit of a rest and then we'll head off at sun up again tomorrow.
We've successfully taken delivery of the part, now it's Jimnys to the rescue. With a 4.5 hour drive in front of him, Dave has to backtrack all the way down the Gunbarrel Highway again. Now it's time for a bit of solo camping before he hits the rendezvous with the support team in the morning.
Yeah, morning, just leaving the camp. We're about 50 k's away from the trailer, and we pulled up here last night because it just started getting a little bit tough in the dark and we're getting a bit tired and we didn't want to make a mistake. So we're off again, and hopefully the coffee's on when we meet up with the boys again.
The weather out here this morning is absolutely glorious, so I think today's going to be a pretty good day all round. I can just feel it in my bones.
Start up nice and tight. Matthew.
Alright, bring it back, big boy.
With Operation F-Truck Rescue complete, it was all systems go and back on the road, racing to catch up with the rest of the convoy and the Night 8 camp. The rest of the convoy broke camp early and made its way to Warracoomba and the Giles weather station. This amazing weather station is home to one of the last Central Australian weather observatories, a salvage rocket from the Woomera testing days, and even one of Len Bedell's original graders, used during the construction of the Gunbarrel Highway almost 64 years ago. All right team, we need to get back out on the road and make some more Ks up to date before we hit camp. After a long day on the Great Central Road, we have finally crossed the border into the Northern Territory. It's only one more night's camp and then on to Uluru. For that authentic camping experience, nothing beats using cast iron on an open campfire. Today I'm going to show you a range of cast iron camp pots and accessories from Wildtrak Australia. This line of cast iron camp ovens come in a range of sizes. Today I've got the 2 and the 4.5 quart, perfect for that solo traveller. But you can also get them in a 9 and a 12 quart, which is great for the larger group. In addition to this line of camp ovens, you can also grab this handy canvas bag, which will protect your camp oven while it's in the back of the vehicle, and also a pair of camp oven mitts and a pot lifter to make cooking easy and safe. So whether you're cooking a stew or a damper, there is nothing better than cooking over the campfire with cast iron. Ask for Wildtrak Australia products at your local outdoor store. It's the morning of the 9th and final day of this epic adventure. With the mayhem of the support vehicle breakdown behind us and the convoy all back together, now it's our final push into Uluru. You could tell there was a sense of excitement building amongst the crew the closer that we got. The guys are getting all of their tyres aired up because we are back on the blacktop, which means it's going to be smooth sailing. From here we're going to go over to see the Olgas, and then after that it's into Uluru. All of a sudden the flat red dirt landscape gave way to massive sandstone monoliths. First the Olgas, then Uluru. These living, breathing cultural landscapes were created millions of years ago, but they have a special place in the heart of every Australian. So the convoy's made it all the way to the Olgas. One last step before we go on to Uluru. And would you look at this? Absolutely magnificent. This is my first time to the Olgas and I am absolutely blown away by it. We're gonna have a quick walk in and have a look at the sacred area now. Alright, in the car with Dave, the team leader.
Yeah, we finally made it, mate. The 22 Jimnys have headed down the Gunbarrel unscathed, and we've got Uluru in our sights.
And speaking of in our sights, look at that. There she is. What a great sight that is, mate.
Awesome, absolutely awesome, Tony. It's been a great trip.
We are going to meet the other team over at Uluru and we're going to get a few pieces from them, but I reckon they've had a pretty good time. Righto, so we've made it to Uluru, mate. What do you reckon?
Oh, fantastic. What a trip. We've had everything. We've had undulating ground, we've had muddy, we've had dry, we've had dust. It's just been sensational.
I think for me, the cargo management in the back probably needed to change a little bit. How do you reckon with yours?
Yeah, we're pretty good actually. We put a bit of thought into it, stacking containers, dust-sealed containers, and limited what we carried. So always room for improvement, but we think we got it pretty much right.
And you enjoyed the Jimny then?
Oh, fabulous. Yeah, unbelievable. I couldn't believe how comfortable it was on the trip, and that was my biggest concern. But it stayed dust-free in the cabin as well.
What do you think of the trip?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, it's exciting. Every day was different. The challenges were different every day, but the Zukis dealt with it with a lot of ease and surprised me, to be honest, that the vehicles went super good in all conditions, and particularly Gunbarrel. That was a whole lot easier than I thought it was going to be, even though the going was tough, but the cars just handled it so well. Yeah, no, it's been a great 8 days.
Is there anything that you would have changed with your gear setup?
Yeah, my sleeping bag was well underdone. I didn't expect it to be as cold as it was. And on the last night, my zipper gave way, and I had to make some. Oh mate, I was freezing. Yeah. So that was the only thing. Everything else is great. Everything else is really good.
Righto team, we've made it to Uluru, and what a magic view to end this epic journey. All 22 JB74 Jimnys have conquered the Gunbarrel Highway. This is where our adventure ends today, but who knows what the next adventure is going to be. Whilst on the Gunbarrel Highway, the boys and I used Wildtrak Leisure Australia products. For more information, check out wildtrak.com.au. Thanks for watching the first of the Wildtrak Leisure Australia Expedition Series. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you out in the tracks.